engagement can actually become dangerous when it shifts from negotiation to absorption.
He misunderstood what the opposition is. He believes that the opposition is probably the enemies, and we're not the enemies.
So for me, I think those are the leaders that realize the importance of leadership and their responsibility.
Those in the line of fire say their critics cherish politics of defiance, terming them as moles.
Political party leaders and policy analysts are accusing President Yoweri Museveni of suffocating his own political gains, specifically multi-party democracy that was restored more than 2 decades ago. Opposition leaders claim that multi-party democracy exists largely on paper, citing continued restrictions on party activities, recruitment and campaigns. NRM, however, denies this, saying political space is open.
These were some of the scenes that characterized the just concluded general elections, when opposition political party candidates were blocked from accessing campaign venues. Violates Article 69 of the Constitution as amended in 2005, which recognizes multi-party politics as Uganda's legitimate political system. But with prevailing situation, critics claims that President Museveni is working against his own landmark political gains.
Even the NRM must fight to exist as a party. It is the state that have decided that things must move like this.
When he captured power in 1986, you can see how he was so negative about multipartyism and maintained a movement system, because he knew that the moment you open up multi-party politics, it threatens his existence as a president.
Uganda formally returned to multi-party politics after 2005 referendum, in which over 92% of the vote supported the system. However, opposition leaders argue that more than 20 years later, only a few of the provisions of the political system chapter of the Constitution have been fully implemented.
You hear him chest thumping that by 2021 there will be no opposition. I don't think that is good for this country. We should concentrate all our efforts on building a country that has a stronger opposition.
With the ruling NRM accused of working to weaken opposition political parties, critics fear that unprepared leaders might take office and put Uganda at a risk of poor governance.
Multi-party politics and multi-party democracy is the best way to bring up and nurture future leaders.
And those people that enacted laws like the Political Parties and the Organizations Act, they had that in mind. That's why even they put a fund to fund the political parties, to have stronger institutions that can go all over the country promoting their ideologies.
While the NRM is accused of being the source of political troubles, the party's director of communication, Emmanuel Dombo, dismisses the criticism, maintaining that Uganda remains a multi-party state and that all political actors are free to operate within the law.
So at times, when NRM fights the sectarian tendencies in some of the political parties, some people mistake it that they are fighting those parties. Sometimes the individuals themselves, who may not be politically mature in other parties, when they confront NRM and NRM deal with them, they accuse NRM of fighting multipartyism. But NRM allowed multipartyism to take place.
Now, still speaking about the NRM Electoral Commission Chairperson Dr. Tanga Odoye rules out anyone apologizing for claims of the shrinking political space, saying they are just responding to opposition groups ditching ideology for sentiment. He brushes off claims that President Yoweri Museveni is struggling with his own multi-party creation.
No, but the opposition people have no ideological base.
If FDC comes under Besigye, what was their ideology? Museveni must go. Is that an ideology? That is sentimental. Those are called in political history sentiments. What is the ideological basis of NOP? People power, our power. Who are the people? Where do you derive the power? From the structure. Do you have the structure up to the village? No. What do? You go to the streets. You now damage your own process by going to demonstrate in the streets, yet you should actually go into civilized way to form structures. How do you blame it on NRM? If NRM is a sitting government and you are destroying shops, you are destroying banana, you are destroying tomato sellers, NRM has the responsibility of managing a state even when it is in politics. So it has to handle the demonstrators as well as build itself. So I think we have to analyze this politics, this recent political trend properly. The other political parties blame NRM for not allowing them to go to the villages. But if you are going to the villages to demonstrate in the streets, the NRM has the capacity and responsibility to protect the villages.
President Yoweri Museveni has hailed the father of the State House Investors Protection Unit, Kano Edith Nakalema, Reverend Eliasaph Serwada, for his selflessness and respect of service. In his message delivered by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, he says he has observed the same in his daughter, Kano Nakalema, and her young siblings, who are also making communal contributions in their respective capacities. This was during the memorial service of the late father in Mbara, where the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, asked people to desist from stealing church land.
The memorial service of the late Eliasaph Serwada, the father of the head of the State House Investors Protection Unit, Kano Edith Nakalema, was attended by several high-profile people that included ministers, political leaders, and senior military officials, began with service. In his message, the retired 7th Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Henry Luko Rombi, asked Ugandans to spread love among themselves and heal from the just concluded election wounds of loss.
Heal our wounds as a country. Bring us together. There's no need to hate anybody. Because before Uganda was, some of us were not even there.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, cautioned people with strategic plans and ways to steal church land to stop as it earns them curses.
Some people who have made a very good strategy of stealing church land. That strategy will kill you. Don't make any strategy of stealing church land or even land which is not yours.
In his speech delivered by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, President Yoweri Museveni applauded late Eliasaph Serwada, the father of the State House Investors Protection Unit, Kano Edith Nakalema, for his
values and the fear of God, attributes of devotion to God, integrity, selflessness, and the spirit of service in his daughter, Kano Edith Nakalema.
Museveni highlighted the importance of family, challenging parents and guardians to train and mentor children into future responsible citizens.
Children observe what their parents do and say, and therefore model their lives after their actions and words. This is why the family unit is important in society. It is a place where children are trained and mentored to be responsible and productive members of society.
Kano Nakalema applauded the president for the fatherly love and leadership, honoring her father and his desire to have a church built in his memory through the Serwada Foundation that is composed of friends and family with no fundraising.
He told me as a daughter, I have brothers, I have sisters. I said we are going to build a church. And we are here to say thank you very much. We have built this church. We have not made any fundraising in Ankole here, and it was a commitment I made.
Being able to deliver the product that you see, as indicated by my sister, this is money from friends that are here and some that have not been able to make it here.
Kano Nakalema reveals that she has written a book titled My Father and I, The Power of Fatherhood, noting that it is not about money, but the physical touch, time, and love you give your children.
And the book is entitled, My Father and I, The Power of Fatherhood. Friends, I want to tell you that it is not money, it is not property that makes people happy. It is the love that you give to your children that will make them who they are, wherever they will be. Reverend Eliasaph Serwada died on the 8th of February 2024 at the age of 75.
More to come.
When we come back, we'll be looking at the education experts that have called for an independent investigation into the marking of the primary leaving examination. Now, that will be coming up after the break. Live at 9 takes a short break, and we'll be back after that.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a chef. I want to be a mechanic. I want to be a musician. I want to be a basketballer.
Twinbrook International School is a school where you will see people from around the world. It's diverse. You will have the opportunity to experience things you've never experienced before. We have highly skilled teachers and a comfortable environment that does not pressure but eases the minds of students to help them into their future careers. Our school integrates art, culture, history, language, and performing arts such as drama, music, and dance into the academic curriculum. Work smart, succeed. Twinbrook International School. Today, we choose our future. We choose peace. Let's protect our home from violence. Differing choices are part of democracy. Every voice matters. Every vote is for our shared country. Trust in the process and the electoral bodies. Let's vote with our hearts and minds, without provocation and intimidation. This is home. Let's keep it safe. Let's talk peace.
Buy genuine Decra roofing tiles, the original stone-coated alu zinc steel roofing system from New Zealand. Choose from Heritage, Milano, Shingo, Shake, and Classic profiles with a variety of colors and a 50-year warranty. Only available at Depot Uganda. Telephone 0776 898 888 or 0758 853 285. Depot Uganda. Tried, tested, and trusted.
It's back, bigger, and with more business opportunities. It's the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, Poate 2026, Uganda's flagship tourism event. Poate 2026 will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of May 2026 at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, under the theme Wanderlust. It's your time to thrive. Yes, it's your time to tap into Uganda's renewed optimism and tourism growth. Tourism stakeholders, travel trade partners, and tourism enthusiasts will be part of the Poate 2026. Come and network with like-minded people and unlock new business opportunities. To participate, register at www.poate.co.ug. Poate 2026 is brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board and partners.
You will always know when you're in the presence of the finest. It's like time slows down, just enough for you to feel everything in full flavor.
Just Malt Lager. Alcohol is not for certain persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back. Now, in other stories, education experts have called for an independent investigation into the marking of the primary leaving examinations following silent complaints from schools and parents who allege bias that may be distorting results and unfairly disadvantaging learners, especially in the urban schools. These argue that the controversy highlights the need to dismantle the long-held belief that academic excellence is the preserve of urban schools.
Since the release of the primary leaving examination results, complaints have emerged, with some parents whose children attend expensive and traditionally high-performing schools questioning the results. Education stakeholders, however, share mixed views on the possibility that pupils from rural schools outperformed their counterparts from urban schools. Primary school teacher Eric Chikomeko says that when they reviewed the 2025 examination papers after their pupils had sat, they discovered that social studies and science were extremely difficult. He explains that the questions were highly technical and heavily worded, making them hard for primary 7 pupils to understand.
From the onset of finishing the exams, we were a little bit worried because the language was a little bit too advanced. The questions were too twisted. You can take an example of a question whereby instead of going for a direct answer, a child has to write something like a paragraph in order to bring out the real answer which is needed. So when it comes to children who have got learning disabilities, like have issues with reading and all that, because all children in class can't be the same, you find that they struggled.
Chikomeko says he does not agree with claims by some people that rural pupils, especially those in government schools, were favoured. He, however, notes that the results could create such an impression because learners in large urban schools often have all the necessary resources to study and perform well.
Private schools have a lot of resources which can enable a child to perform very well. So there is no way you can really convince someone that children, if it is 1 or 2 children from the UPE schools, that is possible. The bright children are there who have not got a chance to go into these schools. But if it is a general performance, and then you come and say that the public schools, the UPE schools performed better than the private schools, I would say that it's not right.
Education expert Dr. Margareti Nakabugo has called for investigations into pupils' performance to clearly establish why some schools that had previously been performing well declined, while others that were less known registered improved results.
There's no reason why some schools should be undermarked. I don't believe that. But I think what we need is a structured kind of research to understand why is this the case? And do you know why the timing may also have something to do with this? The improvements of schools up country started after COVID-19. It is a post-COVID thing. So does it mean that maybe when schools closed, that some children did not return to urban areas?
Professor Mwagamgaga, Principal, Makerere University School of Education and External Studies, agrees with Dr. Nakabugo that there is need to carry out a study to establish the truth.
Questions, we need to carry out a study from 2023 when this trend began coming. How are these children performing? Were they able to get accommodated into Kisubi, into Gayaza, into Namagunga? So there is a lot of thought for all of us to think about and see how best to go, because at the same time, the trend, if it continues, it is going to collapse the private education enterprises.
Parents, especially those who take their children to expensive schools, often expect best grades in line with the investment they make. Education experts have advised parents to abandon the belief that a pupil who does not score aggregate 4 has failed, warning that such thinking places unnecessary pressure on learners and teachers.
So that pressure to get more children and get more money or make more money also pushes school directors, school administrators to push teachers to put the pressure on the children so that they can get 4 aggregates.
And the 4 is not reflective of the true capacity of a child.
They have asked the government to further improve public schools to meet modern standards so that parents regain confidence in them. This, they say, will eliminate a perception that some schools are favoured during marking for final exams.
Urban schools teach for exams. They coach for exams. So when you set anything practical outside the normal, they crash.
Moving to matters health, prostate cancer is emerging as one of the leading health challenges for men in Uganda. Every year, thousands are diagnosed, and experts warn that late detection is putting many lives at risk. This week for NBS on Health, our health reporter Henry Mugenyi visited the Uganda Cancer Institute and has the details.
At the Uganda Cancer Institute, men from across the country arrive each day for diagnosis and treatment for prostate cancer, primarily affecting men over the age of 40, and has become the most common cancer among Ugandan men. Health experts say that while early screening can save lives, many men in Uganda only seek medical attention when the disease is advanced. Culture stigma, fear of testing, and limited access to diagnostic services remain major barriers.
Prostate cancer is still #1 in men, with Kaposi sarcoma following it very closely.
The Ministry of Health recommends regular screening for men over 40, including PSA tests and digital rectal exams. However, access to screening facilities remains limited, especially in rural areas.
And as you can imagine, there are many who are not able to make it. For many people from the northern region, crossing the Nile means a lot of things. You know how we live in Uganda, you know we need family around us to bring us food, you know, give us support.
We are also not sitting back. We are training more people. We are raising awareness so that people can be, diagnosed early enough when we are able to cure the disease, and also to intervene before the disease comes through preventive, messages.
Across Uganda, the government is working to decentralize cancer care, with regional centers now operating in Gulu and Mbarara, aiming to bring treatment closer to the communities and reduce travel costs for patients.
That has admission facilities. We see outpatients on daily basis. We can initiate a cancer diagnosis, start treatment, and only refer those that need the unique services that are available at Uganda Cancer Institute here in Kampala that are not available in Mbarara. The Gulu Regional Cancer Center is also fully operational.
Doctors at the Cancer Institute are calling for increased awareness and education among men about the prostate of early screening. They say simple steps taken today can save lives tomorrow.
This is an era where we actually make a diagnosis of prostate cancer and treat it without surgery, meaning we can preserve a man's sexual function 85% of the time.
But when you get cancer presenting at stage 4, the chance of getting cured are slim. So we encourage men above 40 years to contact their service providers or primary health providers to be assessed.
Available reports indicate that nationally, prostate cancer accounts for 30% of the all-male cancer cases in 2025, making it the most common cancer among men and the second leading cause of cancer death after lung cancer. With prostate cancer on the rise, early detection and timely treatment remain Uganda's best hope in the fight against this silent killer that is having a toll on families.
More stories in Chenjejo district. A new church building is drawing attention not just for its size but for what it represents to the local community. The multi-billion Our Lady of Salvation Butiti Catholic Church, described by many as a work of art, is nearing its grand opening. Our reporter takes us behind the walls of the new 5 billion shilling structure to explore its meaning beyond bricks and mortar. We'll be getting to that story later on in the bulletin. Moving on, political analysts have described the national resistance movement's sweeping victory in Kasese district as a ticking time bomb that could explode if leaders fail to meet voters' expectations. They warn that the 5-year mandate now presents a critical test for a party that has historically struggled to gain footing in opposition-leaning districts.
For decades, Kasese district has stood out as one of Uganda's strongest opposition regions, consistently delivering electoral victories to opposition parties, particularly the Forum for Democratic Change. In previous election cycles, the opposition dominated parliamentary representation, the district chairmanship and most local council positions, cementing Kasese's reputation as a hard ground for the ruling party. That long-held political identity was dramatically altered in the just concluded polls, where the National Resistance Movement swept all 6 parliamentary seats, clinched the LC5 chairperson position and secured the majority of council seats across the district. Political analysts argue that while the victory signals a major political shift, it also raises expectations among voters who backed the ruling party, some for the first time.
What did they do when they were FDCs alone? In between 2016 and 2021, they put now the 3-3. All right? 3 FDCs at parliament level and 3 NRM. What have they done? Now 2026, 2031, they have put now NRM alone. So the chances of, if these people don't perform as per the people's expectations, chances of opposition coming.
But they warned that the failure to deliver tangible services, improve livelihoods and address long-standing local concerns could easily reverse the political tide in the next election cycle.
It is very possible that this one can even actually kill more NRM. If I were one of the leaders of NRM, I would say, please, my retreats with these people would say, please perform to the expectations. Otherwise, you are now put on what? On the weighing scale.
Opposition leaders, however, have rejected claims of warning support, attributing their loss to what they described as heavy militarization and widespread monetization of electoral processes, which they say tilted the play field.
In terms of membership, the FDC membership is more than enough. It's just because of the NRM machineries that you see all the 6 members of parliament being named NRM candidates. If it was not the machinery that the regime used, they would have no candidate.
Leaders of the Forum for Democratic Change also acknowledge that internal fragmentation within the party weakened the electoral machinery, costing them critical seats in the district.
There is no way you can have a regime change when you are having infights amongst your troops. They are fragmented. So the fragmentation is both intra-party and inter-party. This puts us in a very bad situation.
Despite the setback, opposition figures remain optimistic, insisting that Kasese's political history still favors competitive politics. They express confidence that with reduced military involvement, an end to vote buying and strong party unity, a comeback remains possible in the next general elections.
We need to go back on the drawing board and do housekeeping. Clean our house, pick up the pieces. It's not too late. We have won this district before 6 out of 6. We have won it 3 out of 6. Now it is 0 out of 6, but we can still go back to 6 out of 6.
So we're only going to look at how did the NRM reach this extent.
Going back to our earlier story in Chenjejo district, where a new church building is drawing attention not just for its size, but for what it represents to the local community. The multi-billion Our Lady of Salvation Butiti Catholic Church, described by many as a work of art, is nearing its grand opening. Our reporter takes us behind the walls of the new 5 billion shilling structure to explore its meaning beyond bricks and mortar.
Rising above the rolling hills of Butiti Parish, this new Catholic parish church is hard to miss. Its towering walls and detailed design stand as a striking contrast to the quiet rural setting of Chenjejo district. But for the faithful here, this structure is more than architecture.
The church is a symbol of God's kingdom on earth. So if we have such a kind of a church, I think some people will feel happy and it will increase people's spirituality and worship much better than before.
Since 1904, Christians at Our Lady of Salvation Butiti Catholic Parish have worshipped in a modest space that could no longer accommodate the growing congregation. On major feast days, many stand outside following from a distance.
So as Christians of Butiti, we have grown physically, we have grown spiritually through this construction of the church. And the Christians have been contributing generously through the little they have to have this church put up.
Now, as preparations for the grand opening intensify, there is a sense of anticipation and pride among believers who say the church tells the story of sacrifice and unity. The project has been spearheaded by the parish priest, Reverend Father Bernard Bitechirizo, working closely with the local community. Construction stretched over several years, shaped by limited resources, but driven by determination.
And this church, we have spent almost 5.5 billion shillings. We have worked hand in hand with our Christians and some donations from our friends abroad.
Beyond its spiritual role, local leaders believe the new church could also become a center of tourist attractions to generate revenue for Chinjojo District local government.
So we believe that at the time it is officially inaugurated, people will continue to flow in big numbers to come and have a view at it.
As finishing touches are made, the church stands as a symbol of patience and shared effort, reflecting both the faith and resilience of the people of Watiti. The grand opening of the Watiti Catholic Parish Church is expected to draw believers from across the country, with the president expected to grace its opening, marking a significant moment in the area's spiritual and community life.
And now we are in its final stages, organizing the official opening on 21st March 2026.
In our top stories tonight, FDC vows to rise again as post-election rebuild begins and politicians renew calls for national dialogue to break a stalemate. Fairness in question over UNEB PLE marking system as experts demand independent investigations. Those were our top stories for tonight. Live at 9 takes a short break and we'll be back with more stories including business and sport.
Best friend you have for MTN yo ya dollar. Gamati best friend you MTN yo ya dollar nyo.
Tutandikidde Kampala naye tugenda mu ggwanga lyonna nga tugaba school fees wa mwaka mulamba.
Twebaza omukama okuba nti nno atuwadde omukisa guno ate ne MTN okuba nti esasulidde omwana fees ez'omwaka omulamba ebe tutikudde omugugu era kuba sente ezo ziba nyingi nnyo.
Sasula school fees ng'okozesa momo onyiga.
Arena Golf Resort and Spa. Feel the magic as legends Maddox Sematimba and Jamal Waswa serenade the night. Plus, step back in time with Rasta Rob MC and the Twins. Crown the night in our luxurious rooms from $165 single or $185 double. Tickets go for 1 million shillings for a platinum couple and 2.8 million for a group of 6 and includes a sumptuous steak dinner with house wine. Tickets available now at cricket.co.ug. Brought to you by Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa in partnership with Capital FM and Mosaic Marketing Collective.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength because wealth doesn't just happen. You build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
Looking for a vacation of a lifetime? Cross the equator and discover Pineapple Bay Resort. Enjoy exceptional life's luxuries. Spend quality time with family, friends, or even that special someone. Get in touch with nature with our range of outdoor activities. The calming tranquility of water, breathtaking views, moving memories around campfires. It's all here. Plus, a club experience like no other at Pineapple Bay Clubhouse. It's a whole vibe. You can hire any of our 3 VIP cruise boats for groups of 10, 14, or 25 people. Or you can cruise out with swag on a luxury yacht for 12 people. Our premium boats are all safety compliant. Make your next vacay an all-round experience at Pineapple Bay, located on Bulago Island, right in the midst of Lake Victoria. Talk to us today.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
In business tonight, the senior presidential advisor on oil and gas, Dr. Kabagambe Kalisa, has suggested that the government should consider using its own funds to construct the refinery instead of waiting for a foreign investor. Dr. Kalisa, a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Energy, believes that foreigners typically invest in sectors where they have direct control and benefits. He advises that if government funds are scarce, they should prioritize the oil and gas revenue and allocate it specifically for the refinery project.
For close to 3 years, the government of Uganda has been pushing to attract foreign investors to invest in the construction of the $4 billion Hoima oil refinery. But as Uganda pushes to have the first oil drop by July 2026, the refinery construction is yet to take off despite the critical sectors like Tilenga oil project in Bulisa, Kingfisher oil project in Chikube, Stans and East African crude oil pipeline to Tanzania being on course with the pump station, one in Kabale also steadily progressing. Currently, the refinery progress the Kabalega Industrial Park and International Airport, crucial for the equipment transport. The senior presidential advisor on oil and gas, Dr. Kabagambe Kalisa, is now advising the government to instead fund it with the first oil money.
Design a better strategy to finance and develop a refinery. So we are still moving slowly on the refinery. Largely we have depended on investors, but investors are slow.
Dr. Kabagambe advises the government to reserve first-year oil revenues for the $4 billion oil refinery construction.
Now, therefore, the budget of this country, sometimes you sympathize. Say, oh, well, I have a small budget, therefore let me buy some medicine here, let me do this and that. I cannot get $4 billion for 3 years to put up a refinery. But you see, if you have oil, that is money that you can accumulate in 1 year without a challenge.
He notes that foreign investors prioritize projects with high returns and direct control. The refinery, he argues, will stimulate local industrial growth, attract petrochemical industries, and enhance energy security.
It is not like a pipeline, which is an export project. So if I'm an investor sitting in London or New York or Beijing, I want to look at a project that goes to the international market, not a project that feeds the local market.
However, the executive director of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, Ernest Rubondo, says they are following guidance from the Ministry of Finance.
Aspects of financing projects is more of an investment aspect that the Ministry of Finance has. If the Ministry of Finance feels that they have enough money to finance the project, they can come up and say, put this in the government projects and we fund it.
The government expects key sectors to be ready by April, with 175 oil wells in Bulisa drilled and most work on Kingfisher complete, pending 3 months of testing.
Vice President Jessica Alupo has highlighted trade and infrastructure development as cornerstones of Uganda's partnership with China, noting significant benefits to the country. China is a key bilateral partner that has supported major infrastructure projects in Uganda, including key road constructions through government cooperation and Chinese companies.
Has for years offered Uganda numerous scholarships and opportunities in science, technology and innovation, as well as professional exchange programs that have helped build local capacity. Speaking at the 2026 Chinese New Year Temple Fair in Kampala, Vice President Jessica Alupo noted that Uganda's engagement with China has recently expanded, citing the launch of Ugandan exports to the Chinese market, including coffee, which she has described as a significant boost to the country's economy.
At the bilateral level, I thank the government and the people of China for the achievements registered in our infrastructure sector, where the Chinese companies have participated in constructing some of our best roads in the country.
Alupo reaffirmed Uganda's commitment to deepening economic cooperation with China and called for continued Chinese support for reforms of the United Nations Security Council, saying Uganda and Africa regard China as a key partner in global governance.
We appreciate China's commitment to promoting economic development and cooperation in Uganda.
Fan Zhucheng says overseas Chinese continue to serve as a bridge between the two countries, particularly in economic and trade cooperation.
Under the strategic guidance of our leaders, China-Africa relations are flourishing, delivering tangible benefits to our peoples and setting a fine example of South-South cooperation.
Meanwhile, Tiantang Group Chairman Paul Zhang said the Chinese community remains committed to expanding cultural exchanges to promote mutual understanding.
So the event of today is not only a grand opening, it's also like a window for Uganda friends to understand Chinese culture deeper.
In sport tonight, the State Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang, has promised to start looking into construction of a modern national skate park at Nambole Stadium. Ogwang made the pledge as he officially opened the Chitezi Climate Skate Park, the first public concrete community skateboarding facility located in Chitezi, Lusanja, Wakiso district.
Officially introduced among Olympic sports at the Tokyo 2020 Games, featuring park and street disciplines, skateboarding is rapidly gaining popularity across African countries, including Uganda. Every teenager involved in the sport dreams big, among others representing the country at the Olympic Games.
And we've started our journey in skating.
The sport enthusiasts gathered at the newly constructed modern skateboarding grounds in Chitezi, Lusanja, Wakiso district, as the community witnessed the creativity, style and technical skill displayed by young men and women in sport.
The great sportsmen and women are not those from very rich families. The great sportsmen and women are those from humble background. These children today you see here will be the world champions if given the right facilities and the right training. I see world champions coming from Uganda.
During the launch of the Chitezi Climate Skate Park and Community Skating Facility, Minister of State for Sport Peter Ogwang promised to begin the process of ensuring the space is made available for the construction of National Skate Park at the Nambole Stadium.
There's one park here I'm told there's another one in Mukono. Can I partner with you that we have a lot of land in Nambole where we should put a big national park for this particular game? Secondly, I'm going to support the children to compete and to participate in Olympic Games.
Skaters believe that the new facility will facilitate new talent development and growth.
Like right now, I was preparing for Youth Olympics and I want to go in the Olympics.
We've used suitcase wheels to skate. Apparently, I don't know how to skate that much, but I really have zeal for the game.
My dream is to become a worldwide climate skater.
They saw that we were actually trying our best with even the little we had, and they decided to build for us this.
The teaching of skateboarding is we bring in gear together with the skate park so that they can train and have skateboarding classes at the skate park.
The skate park will serve more than 100 young skaters a week with a strong focus on girls' participation, environmental justice and youth empowerment through skateboarding.
Now, NBS Sport has been hailed for broadcasting the English Premier League live every in Mbale with APL watch party where games were shown on big screens with fans winning lots of goodies.
To Martin Zubimendi, and it's in! Brilliant goal from Arsenal's midfield maestro.
The performance by Martin Zubimendi, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. And gaomanyi gundi tension is better nyingi akapira kabadde waka Man U. And then of course everybody was rooting for Arsenal to lose, all of that kind of stuff. Arsenal!
Thank you very much for joining us for Live at 9 tonight. Catch you next weekend. For the week, Canary Samson and Sibia will be here to bring you the latest from across the globe. Good night.